Bow wow.
Welcome to DogStar.
Each week we sit down with a star of rap and R&B, and this week we have the pleasure of sitting down with Dee the Spektrum.
Hello, what's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Feeling fantastic.
Yeah, long time coming. It seems like it was just yesterday. We were talking about it, and then boom, now here we are.
I'm planning. I'm looking forward to it for some time now. So
Yeah, us too. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. We know there's a performance later today, the date we're recording this, I should say.
Yes.
So we appreciate you carving that chunk of time out for us, for fans, and for the future listeners and watchers.
Looking forward to it. We got some good stuff coming.
Heck yeah, but let's start at the beginning.
Yeah, hop in the time machine.
So are you from Minnesota? Are you born in Minnesota?
Yes, I am born and raised here. My family is from the Caribbean, but I am from here.
Oh, where in the Caribbean?
Antigua and Barbuda.
Have you visited?
Yes, I visited a couple times. It's very warm and lively, and it's like nice little vibe out there.
How did your parents get fooled into moving to Minnesota?
My mom came here for school, I think, and they met in the same place. They're both from Antigua, so they met, I don't know how long ago that was.
Wow.
But yeah, they met there. She came here for school, and I think they had their first kid, which is my older brother, after she graduated or got her bachelor's or whatnot.
Nice.
And then, I was number 2. So, yeah.
Is your brother any of you, I don't know if you have other siblings, are your parents musical at all or artistic, creative?
Yes, actually. My mom's a little singer. She be singing every now and then. She got a nice voice. My dad's a mechanic, so not really singing-songy, but like I got a lot of music in my family. My brother's a producer.
Whoa.
He produced for X, actually. He produced Infinity 888 for X off of that question mark project.
That's so fun.
And my younger brother, Joel, he's also an artist. Goes by Station Zero. Super cool.
Hey, shout out Station Zero.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So music, were you guys like boom,
Always.
like from the jump making music then?
Yeah. Well, for me, it was actually dance first. I fell in love with dance before anything. I've been dancing probably 24 now, probably like 17 years.
How'd you get into that?
Yeah, I just got into it naturally. Love watching Michael Jackson and seeing b-boys do crazy stuff. And I started out doing ballet, jazz, and tap like 4 years.
Like classes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I ended up going to performing arts school, did that.
For dance.
Yeah, for dance. I had to audition and everything. It was like High School Musical for real.
Yeah.
Oh my
crazy.
gosh.
But yeah, I enjoyed doing that. And then I was part of a hip-hop team, House of Dance Twin Cities. Did that for a while, which was really fun. I ended up injuring my knee, which kind of stopped me from going competitively, at least to the full extent.
Jeez.
But ended up falling in love with music, and now I'm doing this full-time.
Whoa. Yeah, what a switch.
Yeah, I hate to rewind. You had said that, you were surrounded by other musical family members growing up. A lot of them still do music today. Who was in charge of the radio? Was it a lot of Caribbean music? What was being played?
Yeah, a lot of soca was playing on the radios.
What is that?
Soca is kind of like I don't know how to describe it. It's like, kind of like, it's not, I wouldn't say it's reggae per se, but it's kind of more like a Afrobeat-ish kind of reggae vibe.
Sick.
Yeah, I don't listen to it enough to know
the
complete details, but
it was on when you were cleaning the house.
Yeah, it was all when we were cleaning the house. Maybe some R&B, a lot of gospel for sure. Very gospel household, very Christian household.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love everything about music and its beauty. So yeah, I loved growing up in that.
Did that I'll say like religious twang, that exposure to gospel music, translate to doing choir in church or anything? Or?
Yes, I didn't do church choir, but I did do choir and show choir.
Oh, like school?
That was really fun. I love, especially because if it's not just singing, because I like to perform as well. So doing show choir and getting to do dance routines as well as singing was super fun.
And how old are you? How old are you doing the show choir?
Probably like 12, 13.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I was doing that. I did theater as well, so I was doing like acting and stuff.
What plays were you doing?
I did Lord of the Flies in middle school.
Who'd you play? Hopefully not Biggie. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no. Lord of the Flies. It was. I did The Music Man, Hairspray.
Oh my
Whoa.
gosh.
They're not like big roles though. It was more like smaller roles, but I did those, and those were really cool.
Fun.
I just like musicals. Musicals is my jam.
Heck yeah. And then with the dance classes, I guess I'm not super familiar what are recitals like, but was that like your first taste of being solo on stage performing to people, or where did that
I
come
would
into
say it was probably talent shows before recitals.
Whoa.
Because every school I've been to usually has a talent show, and that's where I was like, that's where I become a success.
play? What was it like before you did your first one? Did you have like some material, some routines or whatever ready, or?
What did I do?
Maybe even in front of the family.
My first talent show was third grade.
Whoa.
I had like this blue basketball shirt on with some glasses and like a fitted cap.
Okay.
I did a like a choreographed dance to what it was like a song called the Tweezy Dance by KJ52, Christian rap artist.
Oh,
It was fire.
okay.
People was I looked like I was tweaking on stage, but man, that was gas. I don't care what nobody say.
And were you nervous that at that time, or
Oh,
was
yeah,
the call to the
absolutely.
stage, did it overwhelm that nervousness, or can you describe that first experience?
Because when I think about it, I feel like I almost had a panic attack before I went on stage, because I definitely did have stage fright at that point in time, and even now I still kind of do have stage fright, at least a little bit. Like
Okay.
get a little nervous before a show or before a set.
I
I'm
would
like,
not have guessed
"Ugh."
that.
But let me turn that off.
Oh,
Yeah.
blowing up.
But yeah, so I had that show and did really well. Second time, I was like, you know what? Let's go a different route. I'm gonna dance to dubstep music and just
Whoa.
freestyle. So that's what
No
I did. going
choreographing.
forward. Yeah, no choreograph. I like freestyling more anyway. Get to be more free with how I move and
Okay.
do what I want to do. So
Now, again, forgive my ignorance, but what's the difference between like a freestyle dance and an interpretive dance? Is an interpretive dance a bit more planned?
kind of, I would say. Interpretive dance is more so kind of, rather than just being free with how you move, it's also kind of going a little bit with a direction of where you want to go,
yeah.
more structure. But yeah, freestyle is just combining everything you know and making it look cool. That's what I'd say. Yeah.
Heck yeah. That's sweet. And so, yeah, third grade, what was the crowd's reaction? Was it positive feedback? Did you want to do another one right away, or?
Oh yeah, for sure. I was hooked off the first one. I feel like the song choice had people a little questionable because it was just like kind of very old school hip hoppy, but it was also kind of just interesting because you could see I was nervous, but after I felt that first rush of like, hey, you're doing your thing, go ahead, I just started doing my best and did like a little flip across the stage.
Flipping, been flipping since been flipping.
I've been flipping out since the womb. I've been on that.
That's so cool, man. And picking beats for doing routines too. How would you find beats? Is that similar to the way you're finding beats nowadays, or was it full songs? I guess.
I would say it's probably just what I listened to and what I really liked. Especially when it came to performing like dance routines of any sort, I always went to dubstep for some reason, just because I feel like just the drops that they do in EDM in general are so aggressive, and it feels like exactly how I like to move. I like to do outrageous and outlandish stuff when I dance. So it just fit my vibe, and that's what I kind of like went to back when it was just like Skrillex. I was just banging that every day. Every time I went to school, you hear me playing either dubstep or Christian rap. That's one of the two. I didn't listen to secular music back
Either
then.
or.
Yeah.
And were you jumping at every opportunity? So it's like fourth grade talent show, you're there. Fifth grade talent show, you're
Oh yeah,
there.
absolutely. Until like that only stopped after elementary school, because after I went to middle school, there wasn't really any talent shows anymore. It was more like performances for like extracurricular stuff. And
Yeah, it's all
things like
part of the
that.
gig. Everybody's doing performances.
Yeah, plus it didn't help. I was switching schools a lot too. So yeah.
And but I'm sure even though the environment's changing, they're not offering as many opportunities. The call to the stage was still a real thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And when was it in middle school, or was it early in high school that you were able to return to the stage, as it were?
I'd say early high school because that's when I went to the performing arts school.
That's right.
And I started doing dance at that program. And I do that after school every day and like three to four times a week.
So like being on a sports team, rigorous practice.
That's exactly what it was like. And then we would have like performances sometimes. We did the halftime show and the pre-show for Timberwolves.
What?
Nice.
And
That's
I choreographed
huge.
that time too. That was
What?
fun. So yeah, I got to learn how to choreograph and do all that fun stuff. House of Dance is really the place to be if you want to like learn how to dance in Minnesota. And
That's
like
so
they have every
cool.
style. They have great teachers, instructors. That's big plug right there because they're part of the reason I was really enjoying my dance creativity because they allowed me to be free but also learn more stuff about dance that I didn't already know. So, you know.
Yeah, what, as more of a musician nowadays, what resources would you recommend to up-and-coming artists who are looking for a place like that where they can express themselves? They might not know a lot, but they can express themselves, but also kind of be pushed in a direction.
Musically or dance-wise?
I'd say musically, yeah. What's your advice
okay,
to...
yeah. So musically, I would probably say the best thing to do when even though it can be kind of costly, is I would say get your own equipment and just lock yourself in your little space, your comforted area, and work on your craft and just gain a love for it first. Because if you go to the studio without any idea of what you're going to do and you're going to spend money that you don't need to spend for an idea you don't even already have, it just doesn't make sense. But if you get your own stuff and you work on what sound you want to create and what you're trying to make as far as music goes, you're going to find your niche and find a love for it as well along the way.
Yeah, what was your transition from dance to music like, and like what would you do differently starting out now?
I don't think I would have. No, I take that back. I feel like the only thing I would have done differently is on the business side of things, like how I go about putting out my music, because I found it kind of difficult to get everything I needed together for dropping projects, like sampling and getting rights for things. So I started out doing it on SoundCloud first because it was just like you can drop it whenever and then you just push your content. But then when I figured out distribution services and everything like that, it was a lot easier to be like, oh, so this is what I'm going to do to navigate my music to other people and put it on a larger scale so everybody can hear it, not just like the people I send a link to, you know? Right.
No, that's huge. Words of wisdom with DJ Spektrum.
So yeah, you were starting out on SoundCloud, you're saying.
Right.
But yeah, did you like meet a new friend who was a rapper, or did somebody like challenge you to write a song, or like how did you switch from doing dance?
Yeah, was
I
it
think
someone on the dance crew post-surgery who was like, hey, my brother makes music, you know, was it?
I think it was my brother actually that helped me with those resources. Not my older brother, it's my younger brother, because he's really good with like business stuff and understanding how music works and how you're supposed to put it out and different things and strategies. So I went to him for advice, and my older brother as well for different advices with how I make content or how I should mix my songs and master them, or how I can EQ my vocals and different things like that, because he's a producer as well, but he doesn't necessarily engineer, but he has really good tips and certain things like that. So that was really helpful for me.
Yeah, that's clutch. And do you think, it sounds like you're pretty close with your family. Do you think moving around so much kind of made the core group collaborators be the people who are moving too?
Yeah, exactly. We were just always around each other and always creating things, and it was not just genuine love for the art, but it's also partially competitive because they're my brothers and I want to be better than them. That's just like honestly how I feel. I want to be better, but that also pushes them to be better as well. We're all doing our own things individually too, so
that's awesome.
It's fire.
Yeah, a little engine there at home.
Yeah,
that's cool. And then so yeah, were you looking so the first song we got for you, I think, would be Boom, boom, SoundCloud. At least it says first of many on SoundCloud.
Right.
As Breathe. Teaser.
Oh, yeah. That's that one. I had that made. My brother made the beat for me, and we did the song as like a birthday gift for me because I was like, wow. I want to make music and I don't know what to make first. So he was like, okay, let's go in the studio, figure out what we want to make, and then you just start from there. And I was like nervous in the booth, like shaking, like, okay, let's see how I sound when I rap. I was like, am I going to sound cool or what's going to go on? And I was like, all right. I heard the first playback. Yeah, I'm hooked. Yeah, man, that's gas.
Similar to that feeling of applause after a performance on stage.
That's exactly what it felt like. I was like, yeah, this is what it's like to be able to create anything. Because you can start with a simplistic idea and make it into something grand just by an hour. Just take an hour to create and try different things, and you're going to find something that mixes together. And even if not, you can always come back to it. It's perfect.
Right. I love that. Sorry.
So we've only got a minute before we got to take our first break, but I want to talk about your artist name, DD the Spektrum. Was that always from,
Oh, no. I went through like 7 different phases.
Let's go.
How many can you remember? Yeah. Chronologically.
First one.
D Breezy, Flip Side.
Hey.
What was it? Yeah, those were the 2 main ones I could think of.
That's nice.
And what was the final decision on DD the Spektrum?
So,
where'd that come?
DD the Spektrum is a kind of like a triple entendre. My nickname growing up is DD. I'm on the spectrum. I have Asperger's, and I'm on the spectrum of artists where it's not just one thing. You get a little of everything with me, and they're all cranked up to 11. So
I love that.
That's awesome.
Always fascinating to learn not only how you decided on the name, but the true meaning or meanings behind it.
Exactly.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
We're sitting down with DD the Spektrum here on DogStar, working our way, just touching the tip of the iceberg at the beginning of the early discography here on DogStar.
If you want to find him on Instagram, it's DD the Spektrum, spelled DDTHESPEKTRUM.
Yes, sir.
And it's that on YouTube. It's that on TikTok. You put the spaces in if you want to find them on Spotify, Tidal, Amazon, Deezer, Audiomack, Pandora, Boomplay, which I'd never heard of before. Everything. Should have just said everything.
Follow the NeuroClick, which we'll get into here coming up at neuro.click, CLIQUE. Follow DogStar Podcast, the show you're listening to, the show you're watching right now, at DogStar Podcast. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts. Exactly.
Much cleaner. We'll be back. We're going to be talking about more of what DD the Spektrum has already done and what he's planning to do next.
We're talking music videos, we're talking discography, we're talking collaborators. We're going to be getting into it all. We will be right back here on DogStar. Bow wow.
Bow wow.
Yeah. Bow wow.
Bow wow.
Welcome back to DogStar.
Sitting down with DD the Spektrum.
Oh, yeah.
Learning about your early life. Lots of dance involved, which is cool. Creative Arts High School. Dope.
Musical family members.
Exactly. Leading up to the first track that your brother helped you out with as a birthday present. Which is awesome, man. So cool to hear that you're working together. And that's, that was Breathe. And then FU Music comes out January 2020.
So you're hooked at this point, fully immersed. You have the access to the equipment to record this. Is it still on your brother's equipment, or?
Yes, he had his own home studio at the time, so we were recording in there. It was real chill, but also professional at the same time.
Now, the second time you recorded, were you a little less nervous, or still kind of shaken? And
the second time, I think I had I didn't have my own setup. I did it off my phone.
Whoa.
On BandLab with the little headphone jack and
Nice.
This was bad, but I don't remember how that song came about, but I almost forgot about that song until you just mentioned it. So
I mean, there is a hashtag on it. It's hashtag trash. So you must been a little not as happy with it, but you still put it out.
Right. I just put it out because I wanted to put something out, but it wasn't something I was very serious on per se. It was just like, I want to rap. I want to make some music. I'm gonna put it out. Simple as that.
Now, was that before the threshold of an artist's career where the vault is for lack of a better word, trashy songs versus gems?
Right.
Was it still at that point early on?
Yeah, I would say so. I was still figuring it out for the most part of like what I wanted to do because
Finding your lane, finding your voice.
starting out, I was doing every genre, doing everything, and like putting it all together, and it was like, this is chaotic, very autistic of you, if you ask me. But at the same time, I was like, yo, this is kind of my personality. So really, there's no lane I can't go into if I don't apply myself. So.
And was that cathartic? Was it therapeutic, even though it was different genre, different genre?
Yes, exactly. Because I wanted to prove myself to not only the people that were listening, but also to myself. Because there were people that were like, this sounds trash. And there were also people who were like, yeah, I see the vision, keep going. So I was like,
good to have both.
Yeah, good to have both. If you got both opinions, you're doing something right, you know?
That's huge.
Right.
And then the next track, at least on SoundCloud, is So What? And that you put in the description, that's your debut single. So you must have been satisfied by that point.
Got that one mixed and mastered. Found a very popular beat, very catchy, and I was like, I'm gonna make a Machine Gun Kelly song. That's what I'm gonna do.
Went into it with intention. No, that's huge.
Yeah, that quite literally, that song was fully inspired by that first pop rock he dropped. It was so good to me. Honestly, got me through some things. People can hate all they want. That man had a banger in his first one. Yeah, that pop rock stuff, man, I was banging that every day.
And is So What still in your set list to this day? Or I'll ask this: will you listen to it in your spare time?
No, it's trash now to me because I've grown so much from that. But as a first single, I was very proud of that. I had like a whole little photo shoot for it. I had multiple singles for like the tape I wanted to drop with it. I was like,
are we talking Out of Disorders?
Yeah, that's what it was for. That was gonna be the debut single for that one.
And was the goal always to make a project, or was it single, kind of like a dog chasing cars? At first, you don't know what to do other than drop singles.
At the time, I didn't know how you're supposed to structure like an album when you roll things out. So I was just like, I'm gonna drop one single, drop a project. There were none of the songs that were on that project were cohesive with each other, but
just a collection.
Yeah, they were just a collection, and I think it was like maybe 7 songs. And there were just songs that I made collectively in the last year and was like, yeah, let's put this together because I wanted to put something out and have my name on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, looking back now, it's like a time capsule of like what you were doing that year, which is sweet.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was fun. We listened through your discography over like the last week, and it's so. I'm glad you kept what you have kept because the progress is super cool.
Yeah, very noticeable to see the evolution.
I would sure hope so.
It's like, no, I just kind of flatline and the plateau. Yeah.
And then, this is really still the ramp up, I guess, in 2021. 2021, Riot, produced by Underground F.
Now, that's a consistent revolver. I will definitely play that song more frequently going forward because I've moved forward with like mosh pit songs, but that's the original one that like
that's so
got
fun.
Like some good views, got good recognition, and I was like, this is what like I want to tap into now.
Right. And at this point, are you doing any of the recording, engineering, or mastering of your own music?
Yes, I'm doing all of it.
Holy moly! What DAW are you using? Or still on the phone?
I use BandLab. Still use BandLab. Just mix my stuff. I have my own equipment now. Got my own interface and microphone and stuff, so it's good. Yeah,
that's cool. Who put you on to BandLab?
I put myself on from Apple Store is what I did. I was like, this looks legit. Let me download it. And then I was like, okay, it's got some options. Found some like little connects with like inputs and plugins and stuff that they have there because they already give you like recommendations, but you can make your own, make it sound cleaner if you want, edit your own stuff. So I was like, okay, I'll try this. Made my stuff elevate.
You had already mentioned, being able to creatively express yourself at your own pace when you own kind of the means of production, the microphone, the mixer and such. How do you manage your time as an artist? Did you ever think you were going to be the one recording your music when you started making music?
Honestly,
or was it just out of necessity, you never knew?
Yeah, it was out of necessity because it was... I was always waiting on other people to make the music I wanted to make, and I hated that because even if it doesn't sound as clean or as professional as the stuff you hear on the radio, I'm still making it myself, and it sounds good enough to the point where you can hear what I'm saying, you can hear the inspiration, and you can hear the vibes that comes from this. And either way, I'm gonna play it live. You gonna freaking love it. So yeah, I was definitely tapped in with that.
That does make me wonder when you performed music for the first time.
I think I performed.
Is it still later down the timeline?
I think it was 2021 or 2022.
Okay.
So yeah, this is perfect. You've got Riot and So What Out. I mean, all those songs are good at that point.
I did a open mic for Creative Minneapolis. I think that was my first performance.
Fun.
And I did that. And I believe my second open mic is where I was actually introduced to one of my good friends, Machito, and then we locked in from there. I just knew I was going to like the guy because he came up to me with a compliment. He was like, you reminded me of Ski Mask. And I was like, you're my homie now.
Exactly.
So yeah, that was really cool. After that, I believe my next thing that I went to, I didn't even perform. I was just going for fun. I went to the Pride, saw the homie Big Kia for the first time, and got to meet her. It was really cool. Dapped it up after the show and became friends later on. And,
now, I mean, spoiler alert, but they're in the same collective these days. But yeah, let's go back to the timeline. Tell me if I'm jumping over anything, but then we've got in 2021 as well. Halloween. This is when you start dropping stuff on Halloween.
Yes.
Drowning.
That song's personal, man.
What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that song was I think that's probably still for me like a top 5 like personal songs that really hit home for me. It was, I would say, kind of like rock metalish. Just kind of getting my screamo vocals on. Realized what I can do in that genre, and that opened that door for me, and I was very personal because I was going through a lot at that point in time. So yeah, that song really means a lot to me. And I did like a little photo shoot, did some real emo stuff. I took the photo shoot in my bathtub, like under the water with like some daisies in the and it looked really crazy, but like it also looked really cool when I made it edited together. So I was really happy with how it turned out overall.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that was fun.
What inspired, like, how did you know that you should be doing photo shoots for releasing your music? Because I would say a bunch of artists don't do anything.
Yeah, I think it was just wanting to be original with how I like had covers come out and different things like that, and try to edit and create things myself. Got into like InShot and CapCut and different things like that for editing my content. I was like, so this is how it goes. Yeah.
That's cool. And then I guess just thinking about album covers and stuff, when did fashion start? When did you start dressing however the F you wanted? Like when did that start?
I'd say 2021 too. The moment I got my I got my septum, and I got my ears pierced, my nose pierced, and I kind of felt like I opened up myself a little bit before, because I was kind of going under the radar, trying not to be too loud with my appearance and different things. But I like to dress colorful, but just not like super crazy. I dress more like a dancer or like a b-boy rather than like a rock star.
Yeah,
and then the moment I got that kind of feel of what it's like when you actually dress up and, you know, put forth your character and what that can bring, I was like, oh yeah, this is fire. I like the way I look. I feel confident in myself, and I'm like, yeah, you kind of him. I look in the mirror, I'm like, you kind of him. Yeah.
And it sounds like a natural progression. Do you have any advice for younger artists who are like, you know, should I wear the crew neck sweater all the time? Should I, you know, have any advice to an artist struggling to find their image versus their voice?
Your image is going to be 100% you, and that's what it should always be. If you're trying to be something other than yourself, then your image is quite literally that, an image. And I like my image to not be my something of the other, but myself, an extension of myself. So everything that I promote or that I create is deeply rooted in part of who I am, and that's what I try to put out.
I love that. I mean, it shows for sure. We're sitting down with Professor Didi again, giving up and coming artists some true wisdom from a pillar of the community. So thank you.
Because independent artists got to do it all. They got so many jobs to do. So
exactly.
Is there a recent hat you've had to wear as an independent artist that you didn't think you'd ever enjoy, but you kind of secretly love? Whether it's album covers or marketing, or
I would say probably content creating, like making stuff to put out, and promote your music. I know it's kind of lengthy, so originally I didn't like it because I don't like tedious stuff.
Right.
But I like the process of what it looks like when it comes out, and also the excitement of what it looks like when you're making it.
Yeah.
Like editing videos, like it starts out like its own cool shot, and then you edit it, and it gives a whole new perspective on how the video looks entirely, and it's really cool. And I can do it from my phone, so it's like extra cool.
And it is business, but
Right.
it's awesome that you can find that artistic value in it.
Exactly.
That's huge.
That is
I
huge.
try to be
Massive,
artistic
mate.
as possible.
Am I missing anything before we jump into 2022? 2222.
I don't think so. We need to ask the expert. Have we just skipped over anything?
Right. Because we're about to be in
Y'all
2022.
surprising me so far. You got
Boom,
it.
boom, boom. All My Emotions comes out 2/22/22.
Oh yeah, I feel like that's also kind of pop rocky. I was trying to dive into my like pop rock bag because I wanted to make some more rocky stuff, and I felt like songwriting as a rapper got boring at the time because I was doing a lot of the same stuff, and I wanted to challenge myself.
Yeah, what were you listening to at the time?
Yeah.
Did that influence your writing?
I was listening to a lot of 2000s bands like Blink-182, Sublime, Sum 41, Limp Bizkit, all of that. I was diving into different genres and trying to find something that meshes with my style.
Totally.
That's fun. And what is do your brothers, or maybe you have different collaborators by this point, but do they like that kind of music too, or?
Yes, at least my younger brother does. He's very tapped into the alternative rock genre. That's the music he prefers to make, I would say.
Okay.
He just recently started to tap more into that genre. I'm so proud of him, honestly.
Yeah.
He's doing his thing. Like, he's booking his own shows. He's working with bands collectively, and he's just trying. He started his own band, actually. I forgot about that. But, yeah, he started his own band. He's doing his own thing.
Let's go.
And he's just diving into that music. And he's giving me a lot of insight into that world as well, too. So, yeah.
That's sweet that you
I
guys.
smell a collaborative show, a collaborative performance, even if it's
for sure.
for one track or something.
We try to collab fairly often, actually, just because we kind of came up doing this together in general. So every time I get the opportunity, I try to bring him out and do something with him, or go on one of his shows or a bill or whatever he might need. So yeah,
That's nice.
That's amazing. It's all about family, whether it's biological or chosen.
Yep, Fast and Furious.
That's exactly family.
We're family.
And then boom, Halloween 2022, Didi vs. Dexter.
Oh my god.
The first iteration, I should say.
Exactly.
That's the
16
alter ego
tracks,
right there.
11 producers.
Yep.
Where are you finding your producers at? At least back then.
YouTube. I like to deep dive at YouTube and YouTube beats, like from the time of 6 to 3 in the morning.
And you listen to like start to finish every beat to find the right ones, or you edit them if you need to, or if it's like if I hear a good part of a beat, you can make something out of it. Or
I usually pick the whole beat, or I might find something I can play around with a little bit, maybe like a simple melody or something like that. But ideally, I usually find the beat. I know it's the one that I'm going to record on, just like a feeling. I got to like call it my brain itch. When it makes my brain itch, or it makes me make that stank face, like right when the beat drops, that's the one. I'm like, ooh, yeah, I like that. That's my thing right there.
Yeah, no, that's clutch. And so 16 tracks. Or I guess I'm not 100% sure. Is this your first like project, everything packaged together
It's
project?
a mixtape, I believe. I don't think I have dropped my official album yet, because I don't feel an album should be something you just put out. It should be something that you just.
So this is more just like, this is what I did this year type thing again?
Exactly. I'm just like, I'm the mixtape junkie. I'm just dropping mixtapes because I want to put out music, but I don't want having people think this is like the best that I can do. I'm still just trying.
Interesting.
I like that mentality.
Yeah.
And so were you like being selective with DD versus Dexter? Because then the deluxe comes out, not even, maybe like 6 months later here.
Right.
Were those songs from the original, or was that all new?
No, they were extras because I didn't have any features on my thing. So that was like the feature deluxe. So like a bunch of local artists that I was working with at the time, I was like, I need a feature from you, and you. I just want to make something fire. So we're going to do different songs, make a different vibe, and just vibe. Yeah.
We are. Don't be fooled.
We're sitting down with DD the Spektrum on DogStar. Sorry, we got to take another break.
Right.
Here in about
the
30
deluxe
seconds.
is not the same tracks as DD versus Dexter. Also, inside tip.
It's a whole new journey.
All brand new
Make sure you check
tracks.
both those out. I believe they're both available on SoundCloud right now.
Yes, sir.
Heck yeah. Follow. Or did you already say that? DD the Spektrum with a K.
Yes, sir.
DogStar Podcast. Regular spelling.
NeuroClick as well on Instagram. We'll be right back with more DD the Spektrum on DogStar. Bow wow!
Bow wow.
Welcome back to DogStar with DD the Spektrum. It worked better in my head. It was executed poorly. We're working our way through the discography.
Right.
We are coming up into present day. I mean, I think we're still in late 2022, early 2023.
Perfect. Right in the golden era.
In the golden era. Okay.
Yeah.
So 2023, you dropped 2 singles off of the DD vs. Dexter Deluxe, and then dropped 3 singles that aren't on the project,
Right.
and then dropped the whole deluxe project. So I'm talking Getaway, Mystery, and Wonka.
Yes.
Yeah.
Featuring Big Kid.
Wonka with Big Kid. Yeah.
So that's fun, and that's that's the pace we now have come to expect from you.
Right.
Dropping all the time. He's got stuff that's not even gonna be on the project. You got to look here to find this, otherwise you're gonna miss it.
It's exclusive.
Exactly.
I love that. No, I think
Rewarding the fans.
making them
Exactly.
feel as special as because they are special, I think is a huge reward. Exactly. And how come those tracks didn't make the project? Or were they just later?
I feel
created
like
later?
for some of it, it was partially the samples because with Getaway, I used the intro for like Zoe 101, and then the Jimmy Neutron sample for what was that song? Dang, I don't even know my own stuff. Oh well, but yeah, that one and
Trip to the Stars.
Trip to the Stars, yes, that. And with Mystery, I think I just like really liked it as a single. I thought it was pretty cool. And it's catchy. So I was like, yeah, that's a vibe.
And you're doing a bunch of features from this point forward as well. How do you like working with people on songs versus doing it all yourself?
Because you had mentioned being
pluses?
impatient with some producers earlier.
Usually it's easier because most of the time they can just come to the crib. We can kick it before and we can record in my studio, my little space, my little area, my room. So, and it's more of like a chill kick out, like hangout session rather than it is like work. So,
But you've kind of got the producer engineer viewpoint from that too now. I want to ask you, what do you do to make an artist feel comfortable, or what do you do to like get the most out of an artist when they come to your studio?
try and make them feel at home, you know? Like usually there's food on the stove or something, or just the vibe, make sure everything's somewhat tidy, you know, because you gotta be in a clean work area. And usually smoke or play games or something before whatever, and just chop it up. Usually hang out, then make music, and then go hang out again, or just do it in a weird order. It doesn't even
And are you
matter.
having just like an open verse form when they come through, or are you like building something with them?
Yeah, we build something like from the ground up kind
Cool.
of vibe.
Find the beat
usually.
together.
Bust the whiteboard out.
And then come up with
Vision
ideas.
board.
Yeah.
Or just like freestyle or figure out what we want to do.
Totally.
So yeah.
some funny phrase that came up, and it's like, oh, that's the song.
More broadly, what do you look for in a collaborator?
Somebody with diversity and like very unique sound and perspective. Yeah. Even if some people might prefer to sing or to do simplistic beats or anything like that, I always want to challenge the person that I'm collaborating with as well, because I don't want to just do something that they're comfortable with. I want them to try to step out of their comfort zone a little bit, because the idea of working with someone is you elevate each other. So you got to try to fit in your pocket, but you also got to try to fit into my pocket, you know? I mean, it works out.
I mean, it seems like you're trying to share the secret sauce, because that's what you've been doing since day one, where it's like, oh, I like the sound of this, like, we're going to do one.
Everybody's got to be tapped into the same spectrum I'm on.
Now, is there a certain time of day or night that creativity strikes, or is it always on? You just got to tap into it.
It's usually at night, but I do prefer. I wouldn't say prefer, but I enjoy like finding inspiration in the morning, because the sun's out, you get a good view going, and you are fresh. You freshly woken up. You're already started your day, and if you have free time, like a Saturday or whatever day you have off work, you're just vibing, and you can make it at your own pace rather than like kind of be on a schedule because it's later and you don't want to be up too late, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's a very rosy, wholesome picture you're painting. The next project is Midwest Mosh Pit. And I want to ask, are you like always in like a moshy mood when you write those songs?
I tend to gravitate more towards moshy stuff just because I like screaming, and I feel like it sounds good, and I feel like it's kind of not at the capacity that it used to be. Like it's kind of a different tone. I like the XX like back in the day kind of mosh pit vibes rather than, you know, like underground artists with more techno sounds to the mix. I like, my ears are very weird with things like that.
Hey, I mean, stick to your guns, man. Follow your ears, because it served you well so far.
Right. I think somewhere in there is the, Dee Dee's Dark Knight Volume 1.
Yes.
That I think you have touched on with some of the other projects, just, you know, securing the samples, some of the clerical work.
Right.
Has lost that project to time, or did you siphon the 5 songs you could
and
from
put
that?
them somewhere?
I don't think any of the songs that are on that project are on Spotify, but they're on Apple Music, and I think that's just it, just Apple
Easy
Music.
peasy. So,
but I really like that project. That was like my first fully thought out like mixtape for like my rage mosh pit sound. And that took, I'd say, probably about a year to figure out everything for that. And if I wanted features on it, if I didn't want features on it, and then just re-recording things, making sure they sound as good as I possibly can, without having to do like extra stuff and have somebody else do it for me.
Having that cohesive sound for that project. I'm sad I didn't get to listen to it.
Not yet.
Exactly. I'm going to have to go digging for it.
But after that, it was boom, on to the next thing, which again was Midwest Mosh Pit.
Right.
Just on to the next thing, It
was like really short, but those ones were, I feel like those are my most fun songs. I really enjoyed the vibes that they gave, and I think 1 or 2 of them I made in the actual studio.
Nice.
So that was a cool experience, getting to go to like somebody else's studio and make something creative for once, and trying to give up that creative freedom a little bit, just to like accumulate to their space.
And then obviously we all know Dee Dee's Dark Knight Volume 2.
Yes,
2023, correct? 2024, excuse me.
Oh, yeah. So the singles from 2023, to close it out just real quick: Trip to the Stars, Too Hot, and Meet Yo Maker featuring Just Q.
Yes, sir. Just Q, that guy.
That's fun, man. I mean, for as ragey and screamy as you get, like, you can really rap, which is sweet.
Thank you.
Which is sweet. It's definitely sweet. It's like you could say what you want, but this guy can rap.
Whoa, what are you saying?
I'm not saying anything.
And
then to close out the year, here's one that's on Spotify but not on SoundCloud. Open Heart Surgery.
Ooh. That's a nice little project.
Yeah, a little 6-tracker.
Yeah, I almost forgot about that project. That was kind of a I feel like I wanted to make a heartbreak project, and that's kind of what that was, like a little bit of my emotional side of what I'm going through in life.
I mean,
were you heartbroken?
Yeah, I'd say I was pretty heartbroken at the time. I was going through some things with my
Dang.
relationship, and I was like, you know what? Let's make it
fuel
into
for
some
art.
music. You know, to quote my friend, you know, play with an artist, you're gonna turn into a bar or two.
Oh, for real. I mean, it's cool opening that chapter and unlocking that skill set because you're definitely reaching back into that over 2024.
Speaking of 2024, 2023, 2022 is a great single.
Oh, 22. Yeah.
Oh, 22. Oh, I botched that.
Yeah. Wait. 20.
Right. So let's top of 2024 FMU. I forget what order that is then. Anyway, FMU is a single in January. Conflict, produced by Melly, is a single in March. April is Nah, I'm going to do my own thing.
Yes, sir.
And then we're at... then Spotify really takes over. Then you're like, boom, I'm locked in.
Yeah.
Was it DistroKid or who are you using?
United Masters now. I'm like, I'm
Having-
gonna release whatever I want.
That's tight. That's nice.
A lot of creative freedom on there, and they don't discredit you for trying to promote your own music, which is really great. And it offers other avenues where, like, if you want to submit your songs to be reviewed by an A&R of a studio or industry exec or anything like that, they give you feedback if your track needs to be improved or anything like that. So
That's really
cool.
interesting.
And so Valentine's Day 2025's Hopeless Romantic was through
Yes.
not DistroKid, United Masters.
Yep.
Which is such a phenomenal project, which most of those singles we just listed are on, which I love that release strategy.
I loved it. It was so fun to make that. It was my Valentine's Day tribute.
Yes.
Hitting it's got to be hard to hit dates when you're releasing stuff. Is that hard? How early do you got to upload it in order to have it drop on the right date?
Like 2 weeks before.
Okay, so it is a little bit in advance, but yeah.
But it works pretty fine as long as you pay for the like right subscription. It's good. You can pick what day you want to release it. You can release multiple at a time. And I already got stuff like pre-planned release
No
for
way.
like the year. So
Set it and
it's
forget it.
perfect.
Gosh. That's so cool. Man, I can't believe that we're running out of time.
So real quick, we've got one of the most recent releases from when we're recording this project is the Neurodivergent track with
Yes,
the
sir.
NeuroClick.
The
Debut.
the very first of the many to come for the NeuroClick and the greatness we have to show.
And just to clarify, who was in the NeuroClick, including yourself?
We got me, Big Kia, Sir Ja, all the new big three, if you ask me, Minnesota scene.
And your representative sent 2 tracks.
Track that has dropped when you're seeing this, Mic Drop.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And then Nicotine, which that's just a mystery. That's an exclusive. That's a DogStar
yeah.
exclusive.
So
You're gonna-
very quickly, what can you tell listeners about these 2 tracks?
Mic Drop is going to be on my new EP I'm going to be dropping soon. Working exclusively with a producer from, I believe he's from Russia.
Whoa.
And his name is Sort. He's really cool. He worked with me. We created these beats together from scratch, different inspirations for every single track.
Wow.
And yeah, I'm just working on putting this together, making it cohesive. And it's going to be super fire.
Nicotine's on that project too?
No, Nicotine is going to be on a different thing that I'm working on.
Okay.
And that is a summertime exclusive. This is going to be like end of spring, I'm thinking, maybe for the EP.
Yeah.
So,
Keep your eyes on DD the Spektrum.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Spelled with a K if you're looking for them, smushed together on social media with the spaces if you're looking for the music. Follow us, DogStar Podcast.
Bow wow.
Bow wow.
bow wow.
Walking with an iron, when I spit I never drop the mic. Talk with such a fire, when you feel it, it's gon' burn you twice. Make a Negro spiritual, gon' have him talk with God tonight. This ice on me a tundra, call it Minnesota frostbite. Oh yeah. rocking her with long pipe. Till she seen a new light of light, turned her dark bright. Seen her heart was blacker than the Venice of a dark night. Lurking in the shadows, bringing place into a fist fight. It's so sight. She call me Freddy, I'm Drew walking through her mind. No love for these bitches, yeah. They let it be switching, yeah. You coming up missing, yeah. You doing with business, yeah. I'm standing on business like Drewski, I'm mental, but not cause of illness, yeah. Walking with an iron, when I spit, I never drop the mic. Talk with such a fire, when you feel it, it's gon' burn you twice. Make a Negro spiritual, gon' have him talk with God tonight. It's ice on me, a tundra, call it Minnesota frostbite. Like Bon Jovi trying to live on a prayer. Just like Bon Jovi, you halfway there. You gon' keep on trying, it might turn fair. You still gon' be a miss with kid, I swear. Walking with an iron, when I spit, I never drop the mic. Talk with such a fire, when you feel it, it's gon' burn you twice. Make a Negro spiritual, gon' have him talk with God tonight. It's ice on me, a tundra, call it Minnesota frostbite. Body like nicotine, on front of head that. Got her body pulsing with a touch and she like that. I can sell a dream, but I'd rather own reality. Take it to a level where they see it as a fantasy. This is no contest. Put her on a dresser like she was a blicky. Nick let her hate me, bitch let her miss me. I can see you hating, see you from the stands, ho.
Yeah, she's a work of art. Her eyes contain the stars. I want you in my arms, but we are much too far.
Too far gone off my pegs. I struggle to get my words back. I ain't never fumbled in my life till I lost you. Psych. Oh, you must got the wrong dude. You hot to a bum who couldn't make you come. So I guess it's your loss too. You weird ass bitch went to hang out with the dog food and I applaud you. I ain't even mad. Look at what the hell it cost you.
She's a work of art. Her eyes contain the stars. I want you in my arms, but we are much too far.
Hey, I'm on trial for real. Pull up in my lawsuit. Pull up to the T-Rules. DD got a court date. Until we 50, can't forget me on this first date. I take up her headspace. She won't get my headspace.